Larry, what the hell are you doing?
Larry, you can't just... Oh.
Larry,
That's what's happening in One Piece right now. Imu just reminded everyone in Elbaf that there are levels to this shit. I mean, this chapter should be called the Fraud Checker Imu, as we get to see both Luffy's right-hand man, Zoro, and left-hand man, Sanji, go up against the final boss, and it was not even close. Imu Sama just aura farmed each one of them and gave everyone a reality check, because Straw Hats are honestly just too weak compared to Luffy. Most of them don't have Conqueror's Haki, which is the only thing that can harm Imu, and the only one in the whole group except Luffy who has it doesn't even know how to use it properly. So is Oda aiming at another training arc for Straw Hats? Or nah, Imu is just him, no matter how much you train. Let's deep dive into chapter 1180 of Peak Peace and look at the details you clearly have missed. This chapter is called Omen, which is, according to the dictionary, sign of the times or supernatural signal indicating future fortune or calamity. But in One Piece, Omen is one of Imu's attack. And talking about Imu, this chapter starts with him in his aura farming form. Yeah, called Nirona, the king of the world. He is on top of the Aurust castle. He says, who is the king of this country? And even when he is far away from everyone, people somehow hear him. Of course, he has that deep voice, you know. And the first ones to respond are the proud giants, Dory and Broggy. They answer him, this country does not have a king. Then the Diddy of One Piece says, great one. Somers, he is currently in Gerd's hand. Then we see Imu disappearing in an instant, and bang, he cuts Gerd's 2 fingers and thumbs and sets Somers free. Gerd does not even realize what really happened, which tells you Imu is fast, like really fast. Then we see that everyone present there is surprised and shocked. Chopper even says, that's awful, what is he? Then starts the fraud check number 1. Yeah, Zoro versus Imu. These 2 panels also give us an indication of Imu's true size. He's clearly smaller than these giants, but still a lot bigger than Zoro. You could compare his size with Whitebeard or a slightly smaller Kaido in his fish human form. So Somers catches his heart, which if destroyed will kill him. Zoro says, are you another one of those knights? I mean, yeah, he's clueless, but it's like young Sasuke trying to beat Itachi in his top Akatsuki form. But we also need to realize that nobody has seen this form of Imu or even any form of Imu before. So Zoro clearly does not have any idea who this gentleman actually is. Then enters Hajruddin and says, whoever he is the enemy. I'm not gonna lie, Hajruddin was feeling like the main character this episode. He charges at him. Clearly he's clueless. I mean, even a kid could understand the difference between Imu's monstrous haki and their own haki. But this stupid move makes poor Stanson lose a leg trying to save Hajruddin. And Chopper in this whole scenario is like, oh, that's awful. No, these guys are just going to come at me for these wounds, right? I will have to work overtime again, right? I mean, I'm just a reindeer, man. That's how he must have felt. Then Hajruddin says, forgive me, to Stanson, like he's apologizing for stepping on Stanson's foot, not literally making him lose one. And you definitely have missed this. In this image we see number 460 or 760 on Imu's clothes. And if we go back to chapter 460, Ors has the same skulls on him as Imu. This might mean something in the future. Moving forward to the fraud check number 1. Zoro starts one of his strongest attack, which is used against all top dogs, Purgatory, Onigiri. And to be honest, he must be expecting some damage. But Imu just uses his tail to block it and uses attack Omen on Zoro's face, which he then moves and takes it on his shoulder. And then again, Chopper is in shock as another patient joins the line, which was already long. Then we see Hajruddin try another good for nothing move and get blown by a double Omen. I guess it was double because Imu uses both his hands. But before moving forward, this fact will blow your brains out. A key thing about this Omen attack, Oda always uses real life things to make attacks. So in this case, Omen is like a yogic hand gesture called Gyan Mudra. Now hold on, I'll explain. This is known to enhance mental clarity, concentration and give wisdom. And the fact that different hand gestures result in different outputs in yoga makes this even more real. Like while attacking Zoro, Imu's hands were like Chin Mudra, a variation of Gyan Mudra. In yoga, this focuses on giving energy rather than receiving it. So Oda might have made this an attack variation. And then Imu uses another variation of Gyan Mudra for an even powerful attack using using both his hands. Then we see Emu using the original Gyan Mudra on Somers, which is usually used to spread wisdom, confidence and clarity in yoga. And I think in this case it's doing the same thing to Somers, as the guy who was so weak just a moment ago becomes confident and full of energy. Somers says, so this is Omen, like he's a total different person from like 5 minutes ago. And if this theory is real, what if we can use all these variations of Gyan Mudra for different attacks? Man, this will make him even more OP. Then Emu tells Somers there is no time to waste and they both take off. He said this probably because he can't stay away from his Pangea castle or the Sun Tree Eve, which is in the castle, as we see all the elders warning him in the earlier chapters and him splitting blood before transforming into his current form. Then they both take off. And the moment this happens, the houses which were turned demonic by Emu's presence go back normal. Chopper then tells Zoro to get inside and gather everyone injured as well. This tells you that Zoro is alive and not heavily injured. Then Elder Jarul makes the announcement that someone even more dangerous is here. Next panel we see Emu flying with black wings, and honestly he's looking a menace. And the giants below, some are panicking, some are angry. After flying for some time, Emu then glances at the ice holding Gunko and fires an attack from his weapon, and boom, we see fire erupting from the ice, but it's not confirmed whether it's broken or not, as few chapters back Loki told Luffy only Ragnir can break that ice. Then we move to Gaban saying, I have never felt haki like this before, even not on God's Valley where rocks was Emu fight, which tells you that this version of Emu is the strongest up until now. Next, we get to see Luffy and Loki eating burnt food and Luffy complaining about it. Then Loki reminds him to stock up on energy, as they also felt that something crazy arrived on Elbaf. And between all this, we also see Ragnir is eating while being confused as to how Luffy is eating all this. Next, we see Emu arrives where Killingham was captured by Sanji and the squad. He sets Killingham free in an instant and gives him a Omen. Then we see the fraud check number 2, Sanji versus Emu. Sanji attacks Emu with what looks like Ifrit Jambe, which is one of his strongest attacks used against Queen. This technique combines his awakened Germa genetics called Exoskeleton and Ornament Haki. In short, it's the strongest attack, just like Zoro's Onigiri. But so what? Emu again aura farms and uses his own leg attack to block it, and then another leg attack which makes Sanji surprised as it was so fast, and Sanji goes flying. That's the screen time Oda likes to give Sanji, by the way. There goes your 2 fraud checks in a single chapter. Then arrives the Bigfoot of One Piece. I mean the guy who has the biggest shoe size in the whole One Piece universe. Yeah, I'm talking about Loki. He says, what business do you have here? Emu replies, 14 years ago Harold was killed here and he was Emu's servant. I have come to find out who was responsible for his death. Oh man. After hearing this, Loki just looks pissed off and tells him he is the one and reminds him Elbaf is his country and he will always protect it. Then the chapter ends. This chapter was a wake-up call for everyone that they need to level up, as Emu is setting a different power level, a different standard that we have never seen before in more than 1000 chapters. Prediction for the next chapter? Well, I definitely think Oda will tease us a bit with Loki and Luffy teaming up against Emu and the rest of the knights rejuvenated by Attack Omen, but not for long, as this I think is just a wake-up call for the Straw Hats to power up and prepare for the final battle. That's it. Let me know your thoughts on the chapter in the comment section below. See you in the next one.